So welcome to Junhao's podcast. Your guide to mastering academic skills that matter most for university success. I'm Zhang Junhao, and today we are covering two foundation skills every student and researcher needs: writing effective academic paper, abstracts, and managing citations and references. These skills aren't just for academic papers, they shape how your work's perceived by peers, professors, and even potential employers. Whether you are tackling your first research project or refining your writing for publication, stay tuned. So the part 1, the title is Why Academic Writing Skills Matter. So academic writing is about more than just presenting your research. It is the primary vehicle for sharing new ideas, challenging, exciting surveys, and contributing to the global pool of knowledge. When done right, academic writing showcases your critical thinking, analytical abilities, and mastery of complex subjects. The abstract plays a pivotal role in this process. It's the first thing readers see and often determines if they continue reading your work. Think about it. In a world of endless content and academic papers, your abstract acts like a billboard for your research. It must be engaging, concise, and informative. Equally important is proper citation and referencing, which ensures your work is rooted in credible scholarship and adheres to essential standards. Reflective question: consider a paper you read recently. What drew you in? Was it clear? In judging abstract, think about how you can create a similar effect with your work. So the part 2, we talk about what is an abstract and why is it important. An abstract is a concise summary of your research, usually between 150 to 300 words, that tells readers what your study is about, how it was conducted, the main findings, and why it matters. But it's not just a summary. It's hooked to draw readers into the full paper. An effective abstract does more than inform, it invites. Imagine you are scrolling through academic journals. Only abstracts give you a quick window into whether an article is relevant to your interest. If the abstract is unclear or inspired, you are likely skip the paper entirely. Pro tip: always tailor your abstract to the intended audience, whether it's fellow researchers, policymakers, or the general public. Focus on making it as clear and engaging as possible. So the part 3 is structure of the strong abstract. Let's break down what makes a strong abstract. So, the firstly is background and objectives. Set the stage by explaining why your research matters. This provides context and immediately engages the reader. For example, university students face mounting academic pressure, which has been linked to mental health issues. This study examines the correlation between academic stress and mental well-being. The secondly is research method. Describe the approach used in your study, including data collection, methods, sample size, and any special techniques or analysis used. For example, the data was collected through structured interviews with 300 undergraduate students, followed by quantitative analysis using statistical modeling techniques. The thirdly is main findings is highlight key outcomes and the findings from your research. For example, results indicate that high academic stress correlates with increased symptoms of anxiety and depression. The finally is conclusion and implications, explaining what your findings mean and why they're significant. For example, these findings suggest the need for university interventions to support students' mental health and alleviate stress-related challenges. Additional insight: when writing, think about the narrative flow. How do the pieces fit together to form a compelling story about your research? Interactive exercise: write a 150-word abstract for a hypothetical research study on social media's impact on sleep. Try to include background, methods, findings, and the conclusion implication. The part 4 is common mistakes to avoid in abstracts. Many writers struggle with crafting abstracts. Here are some common mistakes and how to avoid them. So the firstly is overloading with detail. An abstract isn't the place for a full literature review on the detailed methodology. Focus on the essentials. The secondly is vagueness. Is avoid generalities, be specific about your findings and contributions. The thirdly is too technical. So where some terminology is necessary, aim for a balance between clarity and technical depth. So the finally is ignoring word count. Adhering to the required length shows respect for submission, guidelines, the assurance your work is concise. The judgment tip: try summarize your abstract in one tweet-length sentence. If you can't, it may be too complicated. So part 5 is importance of proper citations. Citations aren't just a technicality, They are the backbone of academic writing. Proper citations show your respect for prior research and help readers explore the sources you've built on. They also protect you from accusations of plagiarism, which can have serious academic consequences. The discussion, different disciplines prefer different citation styles. For example, the APA is common in social science, MLA in humanities, and Chicago for history. Each style has unique formatting rules, but they all serve the purpose of giving credit where it's due. The Part 6, Tools for managing citations and references. Manually managing citations can be cumbersome. Fortunately, reference management tools make it easier. So the firstly is Zotero. This free open source tool automatically generates citations and can organize sources into libraries. The secondly is Mendeley, great for cross-device reference management and collaboration of use for group projects. The thirdly is EndNote, offers extensive features for managing large bibliographies, but require a subscription. Use case: imagine working on a lecture review with 50 references. Instead of manually formatting each source, a tool like Zotero can generate a consistent bibliography in seconds. Interactive element is considered downloading one of these tools to explaining its basic features. The Part 7 is common citation mistakes and how to avoid them. Even seasoned research sometimes slip up with citations. Here are some frequent pitfalls. Improperly cited quotes. Always enclosed decreed quotes in quotation marks and provide a citation. The secondly is mixing citation styles. Stick to one citation style throughout your paper for consistency. The thirdly is secondary source misattribution. When citing a source mentioned in another work, correctly attribute both sources. Quick tip: citation management tools often have plugins that integrate with word processors, automatically checking consistency and format. The Part 8 is best practice for citation and reference management to ensure accuracy and consistency. So the firstly is cross-check references. Make sure every in-text citation corresponds to an entry in the reference list. The secondly is use alphabetical order. So the most citation styles organize references alphabetically. So the finally is stay updated. Citation guidelines evolve. So regularly check styles manuals of updates. So part 9 is real life applications and hands-on practice. Let's apply what we've learned. So the number 1, we draft an abstract for a research topic of your choice. The number 2 is seed 3 sources using APA and MLA and Chicago styles. This practical exercise will reinforce your understanding and boost your confidence. Reflective question: how does having a well-written abstract and proper citations affect how others view your work? Next, the part 10. The titles, the role of the keywords in abstracts. Let's take a moment to discuss a critical, yet often overlooked aspects of writing an active abstract. Keywords. Keywords are words or phrases that encapsulate the main topics of your research. They are used by databases and search engines to help readers find your work quickly. Well-chosen keywords enhance the discoverability of your paper, increasing its reach within the academic community and beyond. Here are a few tips for selecting effective keywords. Relevance: ensure the keyword you choose accurately represent the main themes of your research. Specifically, use terms that are as specific as possible. For example, if you are writing about mental health, consider using academic, street or university students. Mental health for greater precision. Common terminology: use terms that are widely recognized and frequently used in your field. Avoid jargon of highly technical terms unless they are critical to your topic. Example: if a research focused on social media's impact on adolescent self-esteem, your keyword could include social media, adolescent self-esteem, digital communication, and psychological impact. Interactive activity: take a moment to think about the main themes of your current research project. Write down 5 keywords you believe accurately reflect your topic and evaluate whether they are specific and relevant. To part 11, this topic talk about crafting a compelling abstract for different contexts. Writing an abstract isn't a one-size-fits-all process. Depending on the context, whether for a journal article, a conference presentation, or a thesis, your approach may vary. Let's explore these different scenarios. Journal article abstract. Journal abstracts typically require to concise summary that adheres strictly to the journal's guidelines. Focus on the key findings, methods, and the significance of your research. For example, for a psychologically journal emphasizes methodological rigor of data-driven research that contribute to your field. Conference presentation abstracts. When submitting an abstract for a conference, you need to capture the attention of the selection committee. Highlight why your topic is timely or relevant and what makes it unique to innovators. Pro tip is use active and engaging language to convey enthusiasm for your research. This can help you abstract stand out among dozens or even hundreds of submissions. This is an dissertation abstract. Abstracts for thesis and dissertations are often longer and more detailed. In addition to summarizing your research, you may need to provide a brief overview of each chapter or key findings. Example: a dissertation abstract on remote learning technologies in higher education might outline the historical context, main methodologies, key findings, and recommendations for future practice. The discussion reflects on how the purpose and audience of your abstract affects its content and tone. What adjustments would you make when writing for a journal versus a conference? The part 12. The title talk about advanced citation practice. As you advance in your academic writing, it's important to go beyond basic citation practice and master advanced techniques that ensure thoroughness and credibility. Here are some advanced practices to consider. Citing data, cites and figures. If your research involves data analysis, properly citing data sources is essential. This not only credits the original creators, but also help readers verify the explore your findings. Example: the Smith J. 2021 Data on Renewable Energy Adoption and the datasite Renewable Energy Database. Citing a secondary source is when citing a source mentioned in other work. Always clarify the relationship between the primary and secondary sources. For example, the Smith, as cited in Johnson 2019, shows that you are referencing Smith's work through Johnson. Integrating non-traditional sources In certain fields, you may need to seek multimedia content, interviews, or online forums. Ensure that these citations follow the guidelines of your chosen citation style. Example in APA, the DOE 2020 March 15th interview on education reform, personal interview. The quick reminder, always verify citation accuracy. If a minor inconsistencies can detract from your credibility and professionalism. Part 13. The title talk about building and maintaining your reference library. Maintaining a comprehensive and well-organized reference library is a key part of academic writing. Here are some tips for building and managing your reference effectively. To start early, begin collecting reference from the very start of your research. Use reference management tools like the most of APP to categorize and take your sources for easy retrieval. Organized by term of chapter. The group reference based on the terms or chapters of your work. This makes it easier to find reliable sources as you write and ensures you don't overlook key citations. Regular updates. Periodically review your reference library to ensure it remains relevant and up-to-date. Remove outdated sources that no longer align with your focus and aid new studies that contribute to your understanding. To back up your library, digital reference libraries can be lost due to technical issues, so make regular backup to avoid losing valuable work. The practical tip is consider creating annotated for key source. Briefly summarize the main points and the relevance of each source to your work. This will save time when writing to provide clarity on how each source contributes to your agreement. So, finally, thank you for joining me today on Junhao's podcast. We've covered a lot of ground, from writing, in judging abstract and selecting effective keywords to mastering advanced citation practice and building a robust references library. These skills are not just academic requirements, they are tools that can elevate your research and make a lasting impact on your field. So, remember, great academic writing combines precision, clarity, and integrity. Whether you are just starting your academic journey or looking to refine your skills, keep striving for excellence. Be sure to subscribe to Junhao's podcast for more expert tips and in-depth discussions on academic success. Until next time, keep learning, keep writing, and keep sharing your unique insights with the world. Okay, thanks. Goodbye.